Many of us will die. It's a medical certainty.
If you're hearing our voices, it means it's time for It's This Meets That, the podcast where we watch the worst movies from trailer to end credits, scene by scene, so you don't have to, but maybe you should. I'm Russ.
I'm Jared.
Just science. Just
another good line from this movie. Really, really good script we're working with.
yeah, far and few between. But then they actually are pretty good when you hear them. You're like, oh, that's pretty funny. And I don't think they meant it to be funny.
Oh, no. They're hysterical. Right. It was either that or I miss people shutting the up.
I marked that. I was like, that's the best line in this movie right there. Like,
yeah, that was pretty funny. But also like silly and stupid. Like it made me mad, but also made me chuckle.
It made me think that like, I was like, oh, are they kind of are they doing this on purpose? Like this bad acting and leaning into the cheese? Or do you think they were trying? Yeah.
I think they were trying really hard.
To make it like a scary, actual scary movie. Don't do that.
You can't have like two back-to-back remakes.
You just can't do that. No, 2008 and then 27, like 10 years later, you're remaking.
You can't do that.
No, stop it. That's just milking the cow, I think, right?
Right. Yes.
See Disney. So we're back. We're with our full breakdown of the. So I guess this movie came out in 2017. I thought it was 2018, but it's 2017, I guess.
I think they
made it in 2016. They shot it in 2016, but then distribution.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Like on Wikipedia, I think it said 2018. On IMDb, it said 2017. Something like there's some kind of mismatch all over the place.
Yeah, because there was I don't think there was any theatrical release in the US, but there was an international, which I have numbers for. So maybe it was like released.
Oh, it was released January 5th, 2018. So like maybe like right at the released December 29th in Vietnam and then January 5th in the United States.
In the United States. Okay. So we're all
right at the cusp.
Right at the cusp.
2017, 2018.
So the movie Day of the Dead Bloodline 2018. It's a double remake of the original Day of the Dead from 1985 by George A. Romero.
Why?
Do you want to recap us on what this one's about?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
If I have to.
If you must.
So a small group of military personnel and survivalists dwell in an underground bunker as they seek to find a cure in a world overrun by zombies.
It's a classic, right?
Yeah.
That's sometimes
what it is.
That's what you're going to get sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our prognostications, I think I was a little off.
Yep, the zombie was not her dad.
Not her dad. Definitely not her dad. Definitely not her dad.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. You were closer by saying it was her lover.
Yeah,
but no, that's not good.
Attempted forcible lover.
Yeah, in his mind, he thought he was her lover, right? They were lovers. Yeah, the one thing
together.
I just thought of it. The thing that we did get right though is immediately when we saw this guy, we're like, this guy's a creeper. That was it. And he is.
Wait, which guy?
Max.
Oh,
yeah. We're like,
sure.
In prognostication, we're like, this guy's a creeper, and yes, no doubt.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think we thought that there might be some complexity to this movie. Like, I think we talked about like, oh, Miguel's definitely going to be the bad guy, and then we're like, well, or maybe not.
Well,
like,
or maybe not.
Maybe he'll turn. But like, there wasn't. He was the bad guy.
He was the bad guy. So sad. This movie had like Romero was like pretty good with like having some commentary, social commentary about the world at the time, and like this movie had nothing. Nothing. He used a really shitty trope to make things happen.
Yep. It could have taken place in 1985 and been exactly the same.
So this is, I'll talk about it in fast facts, but, okay. So quick info on this one. So this was directed by Hector Hernandez Vicens.
Who's that guy?
So that guy is this guy, Hector Hernandez Vicens. I don't think he's done very much. He's got 16 credits, writing credits, a lot of TV series stuff, episodes, nothing that stands out to me here.
I haven't seen any of these.
No, he's only directed 4 things. So 5 episodes of some TV series, Corpse of Anna Fritz, and Day of the Dead Bloodline, and then Beach House in 2023. So
okay, so this guy's not out here making successful movies.
Correct, but hey, he's working his craft. He's doing what he can, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
He looks like he's so confused in that IMDb picture.
Oh, he definitely does.
Like,
he's like, what do I do? I
Are you taking a picture right now?
Who's holding a camera?
Yeah, you didn't say cheese.
That's how he starts. He's like, lights, camera, cheese.
That's right.
Screenwriters. So this is fun. So we got Mark Tondare.
Yeah, I would say any of those.
We got good old Lars Jacobson, and then of course we have Georgia Romero because character is based on.
Wait, do we know who Lars Jacobson is?
So good old Lars Jacobson. We do not know who that is. We'll start with the first guy here, Mark Tondare. So he has done a lot as a director, though. So writer, let's see, Dog Eat Dog. I feel like that was like 2001. He's been working for a long time. Bloodline was last name. But director, like a bunch of like one-off episodes from like TV shows, like LA's Finest. I remember that one. Daybreak. I remember that one. Like one episode of that. Gotham. Castle Rock. I've heard of all these, right? Lock and Key. But that's on Netflix, I think. 6 episodes of that. Foundation. 2 episodes of that. Based on the Isaac Asimov Doctor Who series 1 episode. So he's got like director credits.
He's got a lot of director credits.
Yeah, and actually there's more than that. And he's been doing this for a long time. He comes in and does like 1 or 2 episodes. Lucifer. So yeah, he's got experience directing TV stuff. Writer. That's interesting. A lot of shorts. That's about it. But his MD photo makes me think he looks like he tries too hard.
Yes.
Yeah,
for sure.
We should get faux hawks.
I mean, he must have done an acting role or something, right? Like that must be for his.
He's got a couple acting credits as well. Because hey, actor, writer, producer, director, you got to have all the things. That's what we are. We're podcast hosts,
multi-hyphenates.
Beer drinkers. We sit around.
T-shirt vendors,
authors.
That's right.
We do it all. Directing and everything else is coming soon.
Yeah.
Now Lars, he's done nothing. He's produced a few things. He directed one thing, Baby Blues, which he wrote. Looks like it's a video, maybe a music video. And then, he wrote this. And then Wheel Women, an episode, writer, podcast series. So that doesn't really
11 episodes.
Doesn't really count.
Yeah, should
we be on? Should ITMT Media Corp Labs be on IMDb?
I think so. It seems like it. If this can be on there,
and then we could just list ourselves as writers and hosts and put it on there.
Yeah, it's like they don't have documentaries on here.
Yeah, it's not like
this is basically a documentary.
It's not like they're keeping track of this stuff here, right?
That too.
So those guys, that's it. So that's who wrote this. So we have them to blame for this. Actually, we have other people to blame, but we're gonna go with that.
Yep.
So who's in this? It's a small cast, for the most part, right? The key people. We got Sophie Skelton, who plays Zoe. She's actually been in a lot of stuff, but her most known role is I haven't seen the show, but I heard it's very good, called Outlander.
I've heard that's good.
Yeah, it's on Showtime or something like that.
Yep.
Some time travel Scottish singer or something. She's on that and apparently has a pretty big role. Now we got Johnathon Schaech. How would you pronounce that one?
I can't help you with that.
We'll go with Johnathon Schaech.
Schaech.
So he plays Max, our other villain, zombie villain / we need him to survive thing. You may have recognized Johnathon Schaech from, as soon as I saw him, I was like, I know who that is. That is the lead singer of the Oneaters.
What?
The one that you ever sent me that thing you do?
Ooh.
Tom Hanks movie from back in the
maybe not.
He was in that, and then he after that he did a couple of things, and he just does, it seems like, bad remakes of bad horror movies, and is in a bunch of B horror movies. So
no, I only recognize one person in this movie.
Really? You recognize someone?
We haven't gotten to him yet.
There's Jeff Gum, who plays Miguel, who is our villain, our antagonist here. Military guy, military bro. We got Marcus Vanco, who plays Baca, who is Miguel's brother.
Okay, yep, that's right.
He's a good guy. He's been in very little things. He's been in 4 things. This being one.
That was confusing to me.
That they were brothers.
Yeah, because they don't look or act alike. So I was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah,
that was a stretch. Yeah. Lillian Blankenship plays Lily, the little girl, kind of important. Mark Rhino Smith plays Alphonse, aka
that's the guy. I recognize.
So he's been in a ton of stuff.
He's been in everything.
Yeah. I think he's got the biggest, maybe the longest track record of any of the actors here. He's been in like all sorts of stuff. Yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Like Batman.
yeah. I love some of his credits in there. It's kind of, some of them are pretty funny, like the roles that he played. He was in oh God, what was the name of the most recent one was The Gentleman, a couple episodes of that. Enforcer, things you hear of, right? Harder They Fall, that was on Netflix. That was pretty good. Angel Has Fallen. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just one episode of that. He's been in so much stuff. Zootopia, Creed, NCIS, which everyone's been on that, kind of like SVU and Law and Order.
Yeah. Argo.
Yeah, Argo, where he played evil villain. That's fun.
Love to see it.
Yeah, love to see it. Airport security guy. So he's working,
Yeah, totally.
Robin Hood, the TV series, 9 episodes of that.
Yeah, he's from that show Gladiators.
He was in The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy back in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
because like the 90s were his peak. He was like on that. So like, the show, American Gladiators?
Yeah.
The British version of that. That's what he's from. He's like a bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah, because I see him listed as like a stunt guy here too. Okay.
Yeah. That's why he's in everything.
Oh, okay.
He's like a real dude. He was like a big star in that show in England.
Okay. Yeah. He kind of looks like he could be like The Rock's like younger brother.
A little bit. Yeah. I can see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Pebble.
Yeah.
All right. So who else in this?
Something like that.
Ulyana Chan plays Lucy, kind of important character. Yeah. And Velimir Velez plays Wild Zombie.
Ooh, nice. Yeah. A lot of good roles for that in this movie.
yeah, a lot of wild zombies in there.
I mean, I know you're about to tell me, but I was like, they must have spent a good chunk of money on this, right? Like more than you'd think for how crappy it is.
Yeah. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Okay. So worldwide, this made, I saw it 95,000, but it also says the total they made was 277,000. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Say they made $277,922 worldwide. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
How's that?
Which is 88 fanatics, like not good, but not that bad. Not fanatic bad.
International 95,000, whatever, or I guess it's all 277,000, whatever. Video made another 104,000.
Wow.
On a budget of, are you ready for this? The budget?
Please.
$8 million.
Like, I get it. I mean, they had a lot of makeup to do, probably.
I guess. The original Day of the Dead, 3.5 million, and made 35 million.
That sounds right. That sounds right. What about the first Day of the Dead remake box office?
Oh, the first Day of the Dead remake. Let's see. That was budget of 18 million and box office of $301,771. Yikes.
So they did not learn their lesson. Got it.
And that was probably all for like Vin Rames because he's in that one.
Right.
Yeah, that is not, those aren't good numbers. 18 million. Wow. Ouch. Yeah. Wowie zowie. Who gave them? Why would you do that? And what is a direct to video? 18 million for a direct to video?
Yeah, I saw that one. It's not even a remake, really. Like it's like kind of a different movie.
Yeah. So I mean, I dove into all 3 of these movies.
Good.
And so there's like it's a loose remake. They're not like shot for shot, but it's like, okay, they're all in a bunker. Yeah. Like that's the key thing across all 3. But then and there's like, I think not actually in that 2008 one, there isn't like a maybe there is like a good zombie they're trying to keep alive.
Not really. That's they're not even in a bunker in that one. They're like doing a drill or something in like a warehouse.
Silo or something, I think it is.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's super stupid.
Yeah. So it's a little bit different. And then like, I think they've got, you have this military and scientists grouping together. That's about the only common thing amongst all 3 of them. And anyway, 2008 one seems like it was just taking more characters from the original, whereas this one just kind of some references.
Didn't need to push you into fast facts ahead of time.
That's okay. So $8 million, that's a lot of money for a movie that is
too much.
Just, yeah. Go back
to the makeup.
Go back to the
stars.
Yeah, go back to the roots. 3.5 million is your budget. Figure it out.
Yeah. Mark Rhino Smith is probably the top billing here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
He's probably like, I'll do it for 20 grand.
Is there free lunch involved?
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, this sits at 11% critical, 9% audience.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That feels like a first. I feel like usually the audience score is always a little bit higher because audiences are,
one of the first, yeah, for sure. I think we might have like one of the really bad ones, like we used to do, like Claptergeist. I think one of the audience scores was lower on that, but
unfair.
Maybe not that one, but
totally
because that's too good.
Undeserved. Yeah. Undeserved. Claptergeist, come on.
Such a fun movie.
Would you like some fast facts?
Fact me, Daddy.
I will. We already kind of touched on this. So it's one of the two remakes. Day of the Dead 1985 is the original. The other in 2008 just called Day of the Dead. We already talked about their similarities and differences. Not a whole lot other than bunkers and silos and military people and scientists. The first one, they end getting in a helicopter and taking off to a tropical island.
Right.
This one, they just stay at their campground and live happily ever after.
Start over. Yeah.
Yeah. I also don't know why this one's called Day of the Dead Bloodline, because originally I was like, oh, Bloodline, that's like descendant, right? Related. So that's why I was like, oh, that's got to be your dad or something, which would have made a much more interesting thing where like you're trying to protect your dad who's a zombie and trying to save him versus.
And I think that's when I said, no, it's probably way stupider.
Yeah, that's that, and it is.
So, yeah.
And it is.
Our trailer trash was pretty good predictions, I think.
Yeah, I think we're generally in their general ballpark. Okay, so what do we got here? Although this is considered a very loose remake of Day of the Dead, similar to, we already covered most of this one.
It's got a lot of similarities. Like I would say this is a much, much more faithful remake than the 2008 one.
Agreed. So some noted similarities. Group consisting of soldiers and civilians hold up inside of a bunker, protect themselves from the undead. The soldiers are openly hostile to civilians. That kind of came across in this one. Looking for a cure to the zombie plague. And then there's the one zombie who's got above average intelligence, or kind of like this cross between human and zombie. And
you've seen original Day of the Dead?
Or no? Yeah, a long time ago, but
in the 80s.
Yeah, when I was 3.
Yeah, not in theater. Actually, afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards. Yes,
maybe when you were 6.
Yeah, 6. Right after I watched RoboCop.
Oh God, dude, I watched that as a little kid too. That messed me up.
Yeah, RoboCop is not the movie to watch before 17 or 18 years old.
No. Oh my God. I was so scared of that. Like the opening scene, basically.
We're
terrifying.
Where Murphy gets all.
Yeah. Oh, horrendous. Anyways. This isn't a RoboCop podcast.
Could be.
Listeners.
Could be.
So yeah, in the original one, they it's way better because it's like an experiment. Like the scientists are part of the evil.
Right. Yeah. Right. There's another doctor who's like doing these weird, crazy experiments on the zombies themselves. Right. And I think that's, which in the whole thing, I think the first one, original one, was that there was this conflict of communication and people not talking to each other, and then people doing all their own crazy stuff. Right.
Yeah, exactly. And in this one, they're just like, oh, this one zombie's like smart. And you're like, why?
Like,
how did he get this way?
Yeah. How did this work out this way?
Yeah. It's not how zombies work. Have you seen a zombie movie?
So attached to that is, so Krista Campbell, who was in the original, so Krista Campbell and Lottie Grobman, two of the producers behind Texas Chainsaw 3D, had obtained the rights to do this quote unquote remake or rehash, what do you want to call it? Krista Campbell, had a small role in the first remake, Day of the Dead, 2008, as Mrs. Leitner. And she was quoted as saying, "We want to keep it as close to the Romero version as possible to make sure that his fans are happy. These are not going to be zombies climbing walls and doing backflips like in World War Z." Maybe you should have.
Yeah, but like the zombies weren't the problem part.
Right.
It was everything else.
So
yeah, the zombies were fine for the most part, I thought.
Yeah, they were fine. I had no problems
Appropriate
with them.
Zombies. Yeah.
The logo for the production company CGF, which is Campbell Grobman Films, Krista Campbell's production company, it's all coming together, is a slight alteration of the classic video game Deus Ex that came out in 2000. So I don't know if you remember I don't know if you remember the logo for CGF when it came up on the screen.
Yeah, I do.
And then I looked up the Deus Ex video game one and I was like, that's the same logo.
What?
Yeah, it's so weird.
I was very confused by the logo. I was like, how does this represent CGF.
Yeah. So look at that's the logo of.
Oh, it's exactly the same.
It's exactly
like flipped. It's like mirror flipped.
Right.
Like, what if we just turn it around?
Yeah, because there's a C in there. I don't see the G, but yeah, basically the same logo. So
yeah, terrible.
Coming for you.
Terrible.
Yeah, trying to remake things and keep remaking them poorly. So
yeah, like why would you do that?
Stop doing that.
What a world.
One of the soldiers in the film is called Savin. And this is a great fast fact because it follows with a possible nod to Tom Savini, actor and special makeup artist on Dawn of the Dead 1978 and Day of the Dead 1985. So,
somebody not named Savin, a possible nod to somebody else named something different.
Yes, possible. So
incredible.
Yeah, it's close enough though. I'll give it to him.
I appreciate that.
A decade prior, Johnathon Schaech, or That Thing You Do guy, Max, appeared in 2 horror remakes, Prom Night 2008 and Quarantine 2008.
Okay.
So he's a big horror remake guy. That's all.
Yeah, that'll do it. Quarantine. That movie sucked, too.
Yep. Last one. This was released within 6 months following the death of George A. Romero, director of the original Day of the Dead 1985, which is...
Oh, good. Following.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank God he never had to see this.
So he's like rolling over in his grave, coming back as a zombie to...
Right.
See, now that would be a good movie where the director of all, like, fictional director of all these movies dies and he comes back as a zombie and, like, kills all the people who remade his movies into pieces of shit. Now, that's a movie.
Like a Scream meta thing?
Yeah. Like a Scream meta thing. Like, why stop making these movies? And the whole idea is...
That'd be fun.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
With the play on the fact that Hollywood's become a zombie and just recreating stuff that we've already seen.
Like the last Scream movie.
Yep. Regurgitating the same shit to us.
Just do a remake of the last Scream movie starring George Romero
as a zombie.
Perfect.
Done.
Oh.
So that's that.
Okay. Wow.
No questions? Nothing?
No questions.
All right.
I usually have questions.
I don't know. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you're like, I have a bonus fast fact. You like to throw at me.
Not today.
No bonies. Okay.
I got like 4 hours of sleep.
You're
flying by the seat of my pants here.
You're working on fumes over there.
It's about to show.
Can't wait. All right. You want to Hollywood pitch me, mofo?
Yeah.
All right. This ought to be fun.
Yeah. So I went a little lazier than I usually do because I got 4 hours of sleep. So this is clearly Cabin Fever meets The Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Right.
Nailed it.
And when I say Cabin Fever, I mean 2016 Cabin Fever. And when I say Wicker Man, I mean 2006 Wicker Man.
Nick Cage, Wicker Man?
Best friend of the pod, Nick Cage, Wicker Man. My preferred Wicker Man.
That checks out.
So Cabin Fever, like pretty similar concept, right? Like it's like a zombie thing that's like starts as like a weird mutated virus thing. It's like maybe not a zombie thing.
I saw Cabin Fever in the theaters. Woof.
Oh, 2016 one or the original one?
2016 one.
Because also a shitty remake that no one asked for.
Stop doing this.
And not only just a shitty remake that no one asked for, a shitty remake that no one asked for within like less than 2 decades.
Yeah.
Like original Cabin Fever they're like, oh yeah, like it's a remake of a classic film from 2002. And you're like,
no.
What?
No, don't need that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. And you're just like a little pointer for Eli Roth. Don't remake your own movies.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. Like, I didn't get it right 14 years ago. I'm just going to do it again. Like, why?
I think I'm thinking of the wrong movie. So 2002, so 2002 I saw in the movie theater.
Okay, yeah, smart. Yes. That one was good.
Okay. And then okay. Yeah, you don't.
And then Eli Roth made it again 14 years later, the same movie for some reason, and it was horrible.
And that was his directorial debut. Was the one in 2002.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So maybe he just wasn't confident. Like, oh, I can ruin movies worse.
Yeah, let's do this again.
I've learned a lot about my craft since then.
Okay, yeah, this is the one I saw in the theater. Yeah, Ryder Strong.
Ryder Strong, dude.
That's right. That's right. Let's go.
Yeah. No, Cabin Fever is a great movie, except for the remake.
So they had 2 sequels: Cabin Fever 2, Spring Fever, Cabin Fever Patient Zero, and then Cabin Fever 2016.
Yep.
What are you doing?
Then they just did it again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Directed by Travis Z. So different director, but written by
Eli Roth's involved. It's his fault still. Yes, it's still Eli Roth's fault.
Still, yes.
Yeah, you don't have to direct the movie to be like, all right, you made a bad thing.
Yeah, you screwed up.
Yeah. So yeah, they both have like weird people that are obviously infected that you're trying to keep alive. Like in this movie, for some reason, they're trying to keep Max alive. He's important to the vaccine, but also like you could probably just kill him; it'd be fine.
Yeah, it's just like just kill him.
You don't know how zombie cells work. Like maybe the zombie cells keep living anyway because it's a freaking zombie.
Yeah, it's reanimated life, right? Dead life.
Yeah, like make your own logic. If you're gonna do away with like the mad scientist experimenting on them, like if you're gonna rewrite that, you can rewrite anything.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that was another thing too, where like make it a little like lean into the things that make it different. Like Cabin Fever was pretty close remake too, but also had some differences that were like, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
It's like if you're gonna have some fun with the story, do something crazy in the remake,
right?
Make it appealing. Don't do this.
Don't do this.
Don't do this. Don't, please. I beg you.
Don't do this.
I'm sure there's aspiring filmmakers in our audience. I beg you, don't do this.
Just make up your own story. Make up your own new story. Come up with something new. So
yes, please and thank you.
Yes.
And then just like a Survivor movie where they're like at the end you're like, well, nothing's really solved, but okay, well,
yeah,
I guess we'll see how this pans out for them. Meets The Wicker Man. So again, a much crappier remake than the original that no one asked for. Like, why do this?
Yep.
The one thing that they did a better job of that I was just complaining about Cabin Fever is they did lean into the differences and make them like extra crazy, which I appreciated. Like The Wicker Man is unintentionally very, very funny. You've seen both, right?
Yes,
original and the remake. Yeah. So the remake is hysterical. And the original is not. Like the original is a very serious movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Like super buttoned up.
Yeah.
And this one is like, it means Nicolas Cage running around punching people in bear suits. It's so funny. What's not to like? The bees, not the bees.
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, so funny. So like take a lesson, Day of the Dead. If you're gonna do it like Wicker Man and just make it ridiculous.
Make it over the top, like really, really lean into it. That's kind of part of my amelioration, but we'll get there. So
good, perfect. So there's that. There's like another like they like try to do twists and then you're in the Wicker Man, you're like doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, it was the daughter that you were looking for the whole time was like kind of the twist, and you're like, all right.
Okay.
I guess I could have guessed that. And then in this one, they're like, oh, the twist is Max came back, I guess, but like it's
not, kind of, not really. I don't know. I don't
know. They like set it up to be like a reveal like a few times. So they're like, oh, like he's smart now. And you're like, yeah, we got that immediately.
Yeah. there's no twist there.
Oh my God. Can that one think? And you're like, yes.
Yeah, because it was just like the audience already knew this, whereas the characters were finding it out. So I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So that didn't really work either. Very silly.
Very silly.
And that might be it for me.
That's good. That's all right.
Yeah. Oh, and the only other thing was I feel like the main characters were pretty helpless and ridiculous. Like in The Wicker Man, Nicolas Cage is just like running around like yelling at people for an hour and a half.
Which, I mean, that's a movie.
Wicked funny, yeah. And in this one, like she's also just kind of like running around, like being a doomsayer and being like everything's going to shit. Like one scream away from completely falling apart. Like, how are you getting anything done? I don't understand.
You're our doctor, so yeah.
So what do you got?
I went a little off the rails on this one, so bear with me. But I think I can make this work. And this came immediately to me, by the way. I was like, this is very obviously Beauty and the Beast meets That Thing You Do.
Yeah, so, we've always said on the pod, first thought, best thought.
And first thought, best thought. Let's just roll. Let's see how I can make this work. So Beauty and the Beast, I mean, classic love story.
Yeah, it's... okay. Yeah, I see where you're going with this.
There I'm going with this.
Yep.
Max, clearly the beast of the story here.
Sure.
Right. He becomes the beast by
rapist.
Yeah. Which, I mean, the Beast in Beauty and the Beast is kind of a kind of a creeper, right? Like he's hanging out in a castle by himself. He's locking people in. He's talking to inanimate objects. Well, I guess they're not inanimate yet, but they could be.
Yeah.
He was
to be together.
He was a lot of that going on. And the only way he can cure his infection of being a beast is by showing love and compassion, right?
Right.
So I mean that doesn't really happen to the end of this one, but in this one, Max does show he just gets his head chopped off. So, which
right.
Yeah.
Right. He sticks with it to the end.
He sticks with his. He's just all in, sniffing clothes and hunting around. So
licking faces, trying to be a rapist.
Yeah, that's creepy. Let's see. I guess she does end up with a prince in that one, but I guess there is a prince. We have Gaston, right? He's a hunter. He's not a prince. He's a hunter, right? Who's trying
to say Gaston?
What's his name? Gaston. Gaston. What's that? Yeah, like
just Americanizing Gaston.
Yeah, Gaston. Hooey. It's been a while since I've seen that movie.
Gaston.
So I mean, he's kind of like the Baka character, where he's like the hunter trying to, but he ends up getting the girl in the end. So it's a little trade off.
Hunky, handsome guy.
Yeah. And wishful thinking. Maybe this movie would have been better as a musical. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
You're totally right. Yeah,
Day of the Dead, Bloodline, the musical. Just
because I think
throw some tunes in there.
Fixed the hokey script. Yeah. Like,
right?
Because if you sang those things instead of say them, maybe it would work.
Maybe it works, right?
Yeah. I'm totally on board. Great idea.
Meets That Thing You Do. So we got a lot of connections here. One, That Thing You Do, like Max is just, he's, that's the thing you do. He's a zombie, but he's also in love with Zoe.
I've seen that.
You haven't seen that one? Tom Hanks movie?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
There's a lot of connections here, but I think, so That Thing You Do, he's enamored with Zoe because, it's just that thing she does, right? So he's obsessed. There's the song.
Yep.
Jimmy, the lead singer for the band, The Wonders, aka the Oneaters, in the movie That Thing You Do. Right. So the whole idea is there's a one-hit wonder band who has a quick rise and fall and, disband, right? At the core, though, it's a love story again, as most movies are. Sure. So Jimmy, the lead singer of the band, is Max. The actor is the same actor, right? Which we already covered. So you got that. Jimmy is kind of, I don't know, if I remember correctly in the movie, he's kind of a dick. He's like really controlling and like trying to they're like, hey, let's do some of these other songs, whatever. And he's like, no, let's just do all originals that I wrote. And it's like kind of like Max, controlling dick, right? He wants to control Zoe and,
yeah, other things. Band.
And then I think the last part is that in That Thing You Do, Jimmy, lead singer, doesn't get the girl. Much like this movie, Max doesn't get the girl. He loses his head,
thankfully,
and his insides. yes, he doesn't get the girl. Thankfully. So, what else is in there? Yeah, I think that's it. One hit wonders. I don't know. This movie is not a hit at all. It's a wonder.
Yeah,
one that exists. But
I was gonna say, you could say George Romero is like kind of a one hit wonder of like he's the zombie guy.
He's a zombie guy, but I mean, he did put out a couple movies that are all pretty good, and
totally.
So,
but they're all kind of the same.
Kind of the same.
In a good way.
In a good way. Yeah. All very high in the Rotten Tomatoes score, though. So,
yeah.
And that's it. I think that's what I'm sticking with. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? The other thing too, That Thing You Do, a band of people who end up breaking up at the end. This movie,
a band of brothers.
We kind of have a band that ends up dying. Like the military bros are all kind of a band of people. They end up dying, so they kind of go off and have their own storylines, and where they end up. So it's a stretch, but I'll go with it. So
we like a good stretch here. Stretching's so good for you.
You gotta stretch. You gotta stretch.
When's the last time you stretched?
Yeah,
like
do it right now.
I just started again recently, trying to get the old flexibility back.
Love a good stretch. Yeah, I need it so bad.
Feels great, dude. I used to be able to, like when you are doing kind of a split there, where you got your legs all the way out on the floor, and you're like doing some stretching. Maybe
no.
Okay. I used to be able to sit like that.
I know you're describing, but I can't form that position. So.
Oh, fair. Yeah, I used to be able to do that and then put my forehead to the floor.
No way.
Yeah. How crazy is that?
I would, no, I just couldn't do it.
All those years of karate paid off.
Oh, look at that. You became a yellow belt, right?
No, black belt, dude, all the way.
Get the hell out of here.
I did karate for like 10 years. Yeah.
What the hell? I think I knew this. Why didn't you slap people around more often?
Because it's about defense, not offense, Russ.
The best defense, though, has the best offense, is a best offense.
That's right. Oh, I'm not saying I couldn't slap the shit out of you.
I'm not saying me, but some, I don't know, some other schmuck on the side of the road. Let's just like slap him around real quick.
Yeah, no, the best way to be a karate master is to walk away from a fight, you know? That's one thing I've learned.
Or just win it.
I guess so. Now you're doing Cobra Kai.
Now, win it before it even starts. That's my motto.
Yeah. Clearly, you've never studied martial arts.
No, but I watch a lot of Bruce Lee movies, so I think I know how to kick ass.
Yeah, that explains it.
Yeah. A lot of Chuck Norris, so I can definitely kick ass. I know I can. I've studied the art. Okay.
That's right.
Jean-Claude Van Damme is my instructor. So, okay, cool. Okay, so are we ready to start breaking this zombie fest down?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cinema gold.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we come up with all of our, not all of the production companies, but production distributors, distribution.
A bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. The Lionsgate one, I was like, oh, this feels like a legit movie. Like that logo in particular, I was like, ooh, okay. It's not.
Yep. And then it fell off immediately. Yeah.
We got our SF Films there, our boy there. Sabin Films. I was like, oh, we're in good hands now, man.
They didn't say Sabin, and that's why I was like, I'm glad you remembered that SF, they sometimes use that, because I was like, wait, that's the Sabin logo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like some variation of like one of their logos. They must have put in less money or something, right?
Must be, yeah. You only get 2 letters.
And then we got CGF logo, which took way too long, but that is the Krista Campbell and Globman production company there. Campbell Grobman Films, so
right,
LLC as they are.
Nice.
She was also the one who was in the original, or not the original remake of the anyways. And we got our boys, Millennium Media,
enemy of the pod, Millennium Media.
We've done Labor Pains, we've done Conan the Barbarian. I'm sure a couple others in that category. So
yeah, horrible.
But they also have like a lot of legit movies too. So
sure.
You gotta,
not my friend.
You gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, you know. So there's a lot of bad ones.
They say that about movies. Yeah,
a lot of bad ones. So for every 9 bad ones, you get 1 good one. I think that's pretty much right. 90% is pretty bad.
Yeah. Can you imagine if we did that? So after that, we get it starts like a flashback, even though it turns into not a flashback immediately. Like that, the way they film it, where it's like blurry, dream sequency.
We get zombie snacking, right? Snacking on some legs, particularly the calf muscle. Get in there, chewing.
Yeah, the outbreak, and like the zombies, good actors.
Very good. I was convinced that they were actually eating those legs. So
same.
Hey,
it was real.
You stun people, you extras. Nice job.
Yeah, makeup department, great work.
We got breaking news. Yeah, outbreak. Things are going crazy. Blah, blah, blah. Total chaos. Zombies are eating people. Drag him down to the subway, and apparently they explode with blood.
Apparently. I like how it's like, there's no sign of the National Guard. And you're like, I mean, if this is like a zombie outbreak that's going to take over the entire world, I think we need to level up from the National Guard. Yeah. No offense to our National Guardsmen listeners out there.
You play sandbags like the best of them, but I think
a couple.
I think we're calling in the bigger guns. No offense. Yeah. Like
there's no sign of FEMA anywhere. You're like, I mean, I know what we need right now.
No.
Yeah, but it's like a news broadcast, and then like we see the news team kind of get eaten, right? Like
right on camera, and then that's the end of that. So just general chaos, people running around, getting attacked, and then we follow our hero Zoe here, who was in the trailer.
Zoe.
So this was the woman who in the trailer was like running down the street with her shirt open and just in her bra, and I was like,
yep.
Oh my God. So which we'll get all explained in a minute.
That kind of movie.
Yeah, it's that kind of movie. Which, hey, you know, I mean, there's that's the thing. So she's like holding her shirt together. And I was like, oh, wait, this is totally her. And she's like walking, talking on the phone with her mom or something, or trying to get in touch with her mom.
No, she's talking to her mom. She's like, don't let anyone in. Like, don't even let any nurses in or whatever. Because, like, so presumably the mom is like either in a hospital or like in a nursing home or something. I don't know.
She's not doing good. It's not going
like, well. Yeah, the same thing's happening here. You're like, oh, well. and
then literally, like you could see it coming because she's like holding her shirt shut, and then like a zombie starts chasing her, and she just lets it flail, and it's like just so gratuitous. It's over the top of her just running down the street with her shirt open. I'm like, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then we get the shot from the trailer with a zombie spitting in the air,
which turns into the title card 4 hours later.
4 hours earlier. 4 hours earlier.
4 hours earlier. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you. The blood spatter. They use a lot of good blood spatter.
And we get some good old later on. We get some blood spatter on the camera too. I'm fun. I'm into that. And we get an establishing shot. We're at Whitendale University Medical Center.
Yep.
So, and then here we are. We're in the medical center, and we're
teaching hospital. Presumably, these look like med students examining a body with the head doctor. And she's like, now we've had time to see what death looks like, everyone. Like, what? Yeah. Like, the script is just so bad.
And early, now I got a timing issue here. So it's 4 hours early, so it only took less than 4 hours for the entire city
destroy the world
rampage. Like, is this patient zero? Like this guy on the table here? I guess maybe more is going on somewhere. We don't know, right? We don't know, but this is
we don't know.
Okay, so then one of the students, she's like, "Oh, cause of death," and one's like, "Syphilis." Like, why are you a med student?
And then literally everyone laughs. Everyone's like, ha 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 ha.
Like, why are you a med student? That's like an answer you and I would give. We'd be like, gonorrhea. Can you two leave, please? Nah, we paid. We paid for the semester. Nah, we're good.
Yeah, cause of death. I bet his heart shut off.
Dead as hell.
Yep, dead as fuck.
Dead as hell is not a diagnosis. I don't know. It seems like it to me.
Yeah. You tell me, does it matter to this guy?
Yeah. Not anymore. And then,
I'm the doctor now.
I am the doctor now. So then, basically, this is just kind of, we learn about Zoe's character. She knows her stuff. She goes and she's like, oh, it was H1N1, some blah, 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 whatever, yada, yada, yada.
Well, she says it's like H5N5, and she's like,
oh, that's right. That's right.
Oh, no. It's H1N1, obviously. Yeah, which they turn into like a major plot point for 2 minutes.
Yeah. And Zoe's taking notes, and the doc is like, don't worry, there's no test today. So it's like, oh, okay, Zoe's a hard worker. Got it. She's a bookworm, right?
Studious. Yeah.
Studious. And then we chat with syphilis student there, and she's like, yo, let's go party. Let's go. You know what I mean?
She invites the teacher to the end of semester fiesta. Like, fiesta. I think she kind of says like fiesta.
Yeah. And the doc is like, no, I'm not getting drunk with my students.
Yeah, what?
That's how you.
Is a safety tip.
I was going to say, I think that is because that's how you get in trouble.
Yeah, it's like it's decently high up on the list. It's I think 81.
81. Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, yeah. It was. If you're a teacher, don't drink with your students.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's a pretty straightforward one there. Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's like, seems like it's to a relatively small segment of our audience and people in general. Like, not everyone is a teacher, but like, this is serious.
This is like when you read the news about, teacher-kid relations,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You shouldn't be reading about teacher-kid relations.
You should not. Student. We'll say student just to capture the wider audience.
Yeah.
So we're in a lab, and we got Zoe. She's just doing some work because that's what she does. She's a hard worker. She wants to get that A. She's that annoying kid that's like knows everything and does all the work. Well, she doesn't know everything, so clearly. And we get some shots of like photos of her and her mom, right? And then the doc shows up, and she's like, "Hey, we need you to do some blood work on blah blah blah, Max." Right? I think that, I don't know what she calls it. Whatever, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And his antibody blood cells are through the roof.
Yeah.
And exposition about shit that's probably important.
And you get the old, trust me, Zoe, this is a great opportunity for you. You're like, don't tell me it's a great am I getting paid?
Yeah, right. Like, I'll decide what's a great opportunity for me.
Yeah.
So then we go into like
the
blood work room here, and we meet our Jimmy, our one thing wonder here, Max. Super creepy. Yeah, very creepy.
He's a real she rolls and she walks in. She's like, okay, roll up your sleeve, Max, and he's like, anything for you.
Oh man, I was like, oh, I guess that's not her dad. Oh man,
yeah. And then they have like an awkward silence until he's like, have you thought about what I asked you last time? Yeah. And she's like, yeah, no, still no.
Yeah.
Answer's always going to be no.
That's
and
just yeah.
Like this part, I feel like was so sinister. Like the way he delivered this.
So over the top.
I'm never going to give up.
It's like, call security and like, get him out of here. Like talk to the police, file report. Like this is harassment right here. And then he's like, then she's taking blood and he's like, like a vampire sucking me dry. I was like, this is so weird. Who wrote this dialogue? Like, you don't need to write stupid lines like that to make this guy creepy. Like,
yeah, Eli Roth probably popped in for a second and just like, hey, you do this. This will be funny.
Then, it's just creepy. He's being creepy, and we get a close up of his blood sample, which obviously it must be important later on. And then
I was confused about too because she ended up taking blood from both of his arms, which I was like, why?
Yeah,
why?
Don't you just do it from one and call it a day?
Yeah, and I think it was only because they needed to expose the Zoe carved into.
Oh, that's 100%. Why not? But why not? Yeah, because you can't. She has to get the blood, and then you have to show the Zoe carved in because you can't show the Zoe carved in thing in the same arm because like that would just be
so stupid. But you're like, what a bad doctor.
I mean, everyone knows that you want that left arm blood and the right arm blood because it's a little bit different, right? Like,
of course, you have to compare. Yeah,
like I'm right-handed, so clearly the right hand blood is much better than the left hand blood, right?
Much better, yeah.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, we're doctors, so
yeah.
We're still doing rounds with her in here. We're like, yeah, that makes sense because right hand blood is much better.
Yeah, that's not. You know what? The devil's blood.
No, that's the left hand. So, left arm. So
yeah, so the angel share. Take it from the right.
so we go to take some of the angel share from the right arm. He rolls up his sleeve and he just like carved her name in his forearm.
Yeah, like, and it's fresh. Like, it's still bleeding. You're like, why?
Like he did this like 10 minutes ago. He's like, you know what? I got a great idea. This will show my love for her.
And it's in like Zorro script. Like, it's in like nice script.
Yeah. It was, all right. Well done, I guess. If you're going to self-mutilate with someone's name, do it right.
Yeah, I guess. No, don't, listeners, don't do that.
The point is, do whatever you're going to do, do it right. Don't.
That's right.
Right. Okay.
Oh my God.
So then syphilis student comes in and she's not a good actress. And she's
so funny.
She's like, get out of here, you creepy old man.
No, she said, you creepy old which was almost a contender for opening line.
Jesus Christ. So
funny. And then I love because always like, this guy's crazy. He won't leave me alone. And the other woman goes, be stronger next time. Literal line.
What kind of response is that?
I don't know.
No.
They're just immediately blaming her for this guy trying to rape her. Like,
call security, call the police, file a report.
Be stronger next time.
That's not the answer. That's not.
Next time. I don't want there to be a next time.
There shouldn't be a next time.
Incredible. And then she's like, well, the party's waiting. You're like, what a
great transition. Like,
what a horrible transition.
like she literally just went through like this probably fairly traumatic thing with this guy who's a super creepball and like carved her name in his arm. And clearly there is some predatory things going on here. Like, be stronger. Let's go party. What?
Be stronger. Let's get wasted.
Oh, right. We got two men who wrote this script. Right. That makes sense. That tracks. Or makes sense. Who just don't know how to pay attention to the world. Yeah,
and it sounds like they borrowed the music from the 2008 remake because it's like, it's very dancey. Like, it's not what people were listening to at parties in 2016. I don't think.
No, definitely not. So it's party time, and everyone's getting wasted. Let's go, right? Dancing like fools.
Yeah. It's like, guys, like, we already finished one keg. We got two more in the morgue, and I'm like, wait. That's how many kegs are they going? So that's Peter, who is the syphilis girl's boyfriend there, and she comes over and just like hangs all over Zoe and her, and she's like, I'm trying to break her out of her shell, and he's like,
let's go get some more kegs. And like the acting and the voice was like really weirdly, like audio was terrible.
Yeah. Yes.
So she's like, I got it. I'll go help you. So he disappears, right? And then she goes and follows.
Like, what kind of kegs are we talking here? Like, there's so many beers in like a half barrel or whatever. Like, are these like they're what 8th or 16th?
They're 16th ones that they're using.
Okay, yeah.
So there's like only
tiny. That makes sense.
There's not. I mean, there's a lot, but not that many.
I was confused at first.
Yeah. So then, so then she walks down towards the morgue to get this other keg. And it's like creepy moment trying to get you all whatever. And she goes into the morgue and Peter's there underneath a sheet and he scares the shit out of her, a little jump scare, right?
Yeah, pretty funny.
And he's like, I'm a dick. I know this.
Like every delivery is like, this is one where I know I'm not an actor. And I know I'm not a director yet.
Yeah. It's coming soon.
But like in my mind, I always imagine a good actor when they're doing a scene like this to be like, that doesn't sound like what a person would say. Like, why don't we just reframe it like, I'm a dick? Like, like, I know this.
I'm a dick. I know this. That's
no one talks like that.
No. That's not. Yeah. Be like, sorry, I'm a dick.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a director out there that's like, no, that's what the writer wrote. Do it like he wrote it.
Do it like that. Because that makes most sense. No. Read things out loud and see if it makes sense.
Feel flexible.
And also, did he have like a weird accent? I feel like he was like partially German or something, Peter. It was very strange. I couldn't even quite pinpoint. It was like, what's going on here? Very strange. Yeah. So then, they keep the kegs in the morgue, that's a fun move. She grabs
good idea.
Yeah, she grabs another 16th barrel there, and Peter leaves. And then she's grabbing the keg, and then Max shows up.
Which she's like slamming the keg around. Like, listeners, if you've ever tried to tap a keg, the last thing you want to do is be moving it a ton when before you go to tap it.
Yeah, you don't want to do that because you can get a lot of foam in those first few pours. It's all foam. Yeah. It's all foam. That's not what you do. So then,
nightmare.
Max shows up and he's like, "Hey man, we're meant to be together." Just saying, and he attacks her.
What happened to the other guy? Like, come back.
Like, Peter, you were literally just saying, did you not walk past Max when he walked down the hallway? And anyways, super sneaky skills. So he attacks her, tries to rape her, and gets her shirt open. That's how 4 hours earlier she's running down the street with her shirt open. So that all tracks. And then the more, so he's on top of her and he's licking her face. That will come back again later in creepy ways. Gross. Don't I'm licking people's face. Don't do any of this.
Nope.
And then the body that had the syphilis that died of death, it pops up and goes and attacks Max and takes a chunk out of his neck. So
the only other thing that's important there is he delivers this line to her while he's trying to rape her. "You are mine," that he says like 50 more times in this movie. Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to ameliorate right now, but like this whole thing is stupid. This like having to have him be like a rapist thing. I feel like there was like a moment like, you know what? Yeah, Eli Roth popped in the room and they're like, "Hey, zombies are pretty scary, but how do we make them scarier?" And someone's like, "Rapist zombie." Done.
Rape zombies.
Rape zombies done. The next time they remake this movie again, they're like, how do we make rapist zombies even scarier? Make them Nazis. Done. Rapist Nazi zombies. That's terrifying. Like so stupid.
Yep. Nope, you're exactly right. Because that's also like not in the original movie at all.
No.
Yeah.
No. What a terrible trope anyways. Anyway, all right, so it's gross all around. So we're back at the party. Zoe comes running in and she's like freaking out and she's like, "Why aren't you running?" Everyone's like, "We're drunk. We gotta get out of here.
There's about to be zombies here in a second. Hold on."
And everyone turns to the doc and like, "Hey doc," and the doc does the old like,
"Are you okay?
Are you okay?" And she's like, "Oh, this punch is gross." She's a zombie and she just total chaos. Peter's trying to help and Zoe's like, "Get away from that," and then just people getting eaten, chewed on. We got a full-on breakout here.
Bona fide outbreak on our hands.
And then Zoe escapes through a window and syphilis girl, she's like, "Come with me," and she just gets pulled out.
She dies hilariously.
Yes. And they zoom in on it and they just keep chewing, and then we get our title card, Day of the Dead, Bloodline.
Yeah. Abby's bloody eye turns into the title card.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is fun. That's like feels Romero-esque.
Yeah,
like they tried a little.
And then we get a bunker establishing shot of where we are now. 5 years later, I think, right? Shot of wide open space. I don't know exactly where we are. It seems like we're out in like a valley. I don't know where we are. It doesn't matter, I don't think.
Doesn't really matter, yeah. The one thing that I will say I love, I'm going to say a lot of things. We're having like another probably 2 hours of talking. But the one thing that I really liked about The Walking Dead was that it took time into account really well. Like, the implications of 5 years having passed. Like, so many cool things that you could do with that. And I feel like The Walking Dead did a really good job of being like, oh, well, we can explore how the zombies are like decaying over time. We can explore how like new governments have formed and like, you know, like nature's taken over, whatever else. This movie does
none of that.
Like, well, 5 years later, okay.
Since the first outbreak. Yeah, and she just gives us a bunch of like a voiceover exposition about the current situation. Yes. Some of us survive, the rest we call rotters. There's a Time magazine. Yeah. What was that? Like Rotters Weekly or something? I was like, what is this? Who's putting out a magazine?
If this town collapsed in 4 hours, like how the whole world collapsed in a matter of days.
Like who's writing and distributing this and printing it? How are you able to even do this?
Yes. So funny.
It was so like funny. Time Person of the Year, the Rotter.
Basically, yes.
And she's like, she's like one of the lucky ones who got assigned to this Rocky Hill bunker, right, for research to, you know, CDC, blah, 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 finding a cure.
Yeah, refugee camp. Because it's also like that. It is like alien warfare where they like make the supermodel into a scientist for some reason who like doesn't sound smart. Like, that's not your fault, whatever your name is, Zoe, but it's the writer's fault.
Yeah.
But like you sound like a dum-dum.
Yeah. And purposely making you run around in like shorts and like a tank top like multiple times.
It's alien warfare all over again.
Let's settle down here. So she goes for a run. This is all shot from the trailer. She goes for a run and she's like hanging out by the fence and the zombie pops up. Rawr, she's not phased and the zombie gets popped in the head. And that's how we learn of Miguel. Thank you.
Soldier Man.
But like when she's doing this entire voiceover, she sounds so unenthusiastic. Like,
oh, she's reading it off the page.
and not like I mean like she's doing that on purpose because of the situation. It's because like she's literally just reading it off the page like you or I would.
It seems like she's unsure of like what she's saying. Like it's like how I do logline reads in Trailer Trash, where it's the first time I've ever looked at it, and I'm like, okay, like a 2017 action horror film directed by Hector Hernandez Vicens. Okay, written by yep. Like that's how she's reading it's horrible.
Yeah. There's no.
You said she's in stuff. We didn't really look into her. We didn't spend that much time on it. I don't think, right?
Sophie Skelton. Yeah, she's in stuff. She's in Outlander, that show I mentioned before.
You said Outlander. Is she in other stuff? Because like.
She's in the only one episode of the Castlevania thing.
Makes me want to not watch Outlander.
A lot of TV series stuff. So, but nothing I've heard of. But she's been in a lot of. I mean, a good amount of stuff since 2012. But it's all
listeners. If you watch Outlander, is it good? Like I've heard good things, but she's bad.
She's very much in it. Well, I mean, yeah, she's been in it since 2016. Well, I don't know when her character popped in, but
43 episodes.
Yeah.
It's so much.
Yeah, that show is a hit. So
is she good?
Maybe
is it the script?
It comes down to a lot. Yeah, it comes down to a lot of things, right? Like the actors can do so much what they're given. So
I guess so.
You have the right director, you have the right writer, and you have the right actor all coming together.
Just so rattled.
Yeah, I know. It's okay. Everyone's just working it out, figuring it out. Keep doing it.
We're all trying as hard as we best.
Yeah, this is all we can do. It's all we can wish for. So then we're still in the bunker here, and we meet the encampment. We get a setup, and she's like walking through after her run, and she's just like, yeah, cool, meeting all the people. She knows everyone there because she's the doc, and we meet this woman who later on is gonna become a zombie. She's the mother of Lily, the daughter. And then she gets.
Sorry, I love the end of the exposition. She's like, it's been a year since we've heard from HQ, and it's been forever since we saw a survivor. Well, it's been less than 5 years. Yeah. Not forever.
Not forever.
You can quantify that time. Was it 6 months? 4 years? Just tell us.
Yeah. You're a doctor. You're a researcher. You should be taking very detailed notes here. Forever.
So bad.
So yeah, then we just got, stuff happening in the encampment. They all got their things. Everyone's got their jobs, their roles. Things are happening. Yada yada yada. Alphonse, we meet Alphonse. That's the Rock's Rhino, Rock's younger brother. There, he does like a nice little, hey, you gonna take a shower? I'll join you. And Lucy's like, what are you doing, dude? Like, don't be gross.
Gross.
Why is everyone being gross to Zoe? Can everyone stop being gross to Zoe? Like, can she just be a woman like working here?
It's like Alien Warfare.
All right, so Zoe comes in from her run outside, and she's walking through the encampment. She's clearly the hit. Everyone knows her because she's a doctor in town. We meet the woman who's the mother of Lily.
We saw she is not qualified for based on
based on any other information we have. She's still a student. The
world went to shit. So
she was still a student when she left the university. Remember 5 years ago? So
yeah, and she messed up the flu. So
so I don't think she got her degree, but close enough, right? She draws blood from both arms. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. So this is where we meet some other characters in the band here. We meet Lucy and we meet Alphonse, who does semi-gross pass at Zoe because that's what everyone does in this movie, apparently. He's like, hey, you going to take a shower? I'll give you a hand. And Lucy's like, dude. And he's like, she knows I'm just joking, which is, by the way, not a response to something like that. You can't just say I'm just joking.
Yeah.
Because you know what?
It doesn't work.
It's only a joke if people are laughing. Otherwise, it's not a joke. So
that's right. It's Alien Warfare all over again.
So we're in the lab, and we're in her little lab research area. She's researching stuff. And that woman shows up, and hey, my daughter, Lily, her fever shot up. Meds weren't working. So
yeah, there is a quick little like nod kind of to the original movie here at the beginning of the scene when they're like analyzing stuff. And one of the women in the lab with Zoe is like, I don't know, maybe the lieutenant's right. Like, maybe God does want everyone to die. Remember, because in the original, he's like, there is like a little faction of survivors that are like, no, God commanded a plague onto all of us.
Right. That's what the religious folks will do. They're like, no, this is the wrathening or whatever, like the return of the. I don't know. Yeah, death.
The Wrathening, I think, is the
it's the Wrathening. The Reckoning. That's what I was looking for. Right. Combine them, but it's out of wrath. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So then we meet Lily. She's sick. She's in her little bunker room, whatever. And Zoe does doctor stuff. She's like, hey, where's it hurt? She's like, everywhere. Everywhere.
It's so pathetic. And like the kid's not a good actor either. I'm sorry, kid.
Hey, she'll get better. And then just stick with it. And then Zoe's like doing her best to comfort her. And it's like, okay. And then we cut to the bunker like cafeteria area. We got like the top brass. Like, it looks like the the people who are running the show, the committee here. So we got Balthazar, not Balthazar. What's his name? Miguel.
Bacca.
Yeah, Bacca, Miguel, and like some other people who are like community making decisions about what's going on, right?
Yep.
And then Zoe shows up, and he's like, "Hey, waiting for you to show up on time." And she's like, "Sorry to interrupt." It's like, wait, it's like, are you supposed to be there or not?
Unclear. And she's like, everyone, it's serious. The antibiotics aren't working anymore. And they're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the sick girl. We all know about the sick girl? Like, no, we have hundreds of people here that we're trying to keep alive. Like, no, we don't. Not concerned about the one sick girl. Like,
it's bigger picture here, Zoe. Think bigger picture.
She's like, it's contagious pneumonia. We got to go on a supply run. I know about a medical vault in the hospital
that I used to be a student at. And then
you're like, why wouldn't you have rated that at any point in the last 5 years already?
Yeah, right. You know the passcode to get in there and do this thing. So go do it.
Like there are probably like refrigerated medicines in there that you could have been using. Like there's probably so many things you could have done 5 years earlier. Yep.
Yeah, why is this coming up now? But but anyways, it's a dangerous trek. Trekking out into the wilderness with zombies. It's a dangerous thing. So Miguel is kind of like, we're not doing this. And then finally he's like, whatever, go for it. My little bro here, I thought his name was Brock. It's Bacca. He's gonna go and he's gonna lead the trip. No sightseeing. Yeah. You're in and out. Come back, right?
Well, he gets convinced because she's like, many of us will die. It is a medical certainty.
Yes, she's in a bunker. Little girl's in a bunker. She can infect everyone else in that. Yeah. A medical certainty.
They're like, no side missions. Don't do anything crazy while you're out. Yes, sir.
Yeah, no video game side missions here. So then we're in Zoe's bunk.
It's like the bedroom?
Yeah, it's like her bunk, her bedroom, whatever. And Baka, I kept calling him Brock still. Baka shows up and he's like,
yeah,
sorry, babe. And then they start to get it on. And while they're getting on, she has like flashbacks of Max and You Are Mine. And she pushes Baka off. Like, is that? I get. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird.
It seems like
very uncomfortable.
Because it seems like they're already lovers, so they've probably already done this before.
At some point in the last 5 years.
This doesn't seem like the first time they're doing this. So like,
yeah, a lot of story plot holes.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Don't make it 5 years in the future. Make it a month in the future. That would have been enough.
Yeah, that's all we need. He's like, and then she's like, whatever, sorry, babe, and he's like, I love you, babe.
And she's like, yeah, I care about you too.
Gotta go.
And she literally just was like, I have other stuff to do. Bye.
I'm gonna go check on Lily. And he's like, ouch, rough. Baka. Getting shut out.
I hate this guy. So I'm fine with him getting shut down.
Californication here, right? So then we're in Lily's room and she's comforting Lily and she's like, here, take my cross for protection, because she had a cross on her neck.
Right.
And that was
to protect me when I was a little girl.
And that's all that really happens there. And then we cut to like the main bunker area, and we got basically this is them going on this mission.
The truck depot. Yeah.
And there's like them going on the mission. Everyone's suiting up. We got all the soldiers saying goodbye to their loved ones, and they get all Humveed up, right?
And then like Baka and Miguel have like a quick glance at each other, like, don't screw it up.
Don't screw it up. So then we're outside, right?
Yep.
And we are road tripping. We're Humveeing around. Yeah, road trip. And Zoe and Baka start chatting, and she's doing the thing with her hand out the window. She's like, oh, I remember you doing this as a kid. And he's like, this is like such terrible like backstory exposition. He's like, you've never told me about your childhood, babe. And she's like, there's not much to say.
Yep. Let's not start now. Yep. I do appreciate that. I'm glad that they didn't do much about her childhood.
Well, then they dive into his, though, so we can know about him and Miguel more, so we can know more about Miguel, right?
Do we dive in, or do we just say, my dad was an army man, never smiled, except when he took me and Miguel hunting, and then that's all we learned? Really?
Well, he doesn't. He gets into Miguel, though. He starts describing like Miguel was always like trying to be superior, always wanted to control things, and blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's like there's a little bit more to it, but it's
like dad.
It's a little much. And then we cut to the other Humvee, and they're just chatting about stuff they missed, foods.
Yeah, and by the way, Miguel and Baka do not look plausibly related.
No,
in my opinion.
No, not one bit. Not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close. And then, we're in the other Humvee, and this is going on for a long time. Just things that they're missing, that they miss. So,
yep.
What would you miss, buddy? Would you miss anything in this situation?
I miss people shutting the up.
Yeah. Best.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would miss like normal life.
Yeah.
Like I would just probably not be alive anymore.
Yeah. I'd miss the breweries. I'd miss the bars.
Oh, we make our own beer for sure.
Yeah, I'd miss going for bike rides.
Priority.
Yeah. We'd still do the podcast though. This would be our transmitting out to like the rest of the world.
Right, exactly. Like, get off the radio. We're like, oh, a survivor? They're like, we're cutting off contact. We can't listen to this shit anymore. No.
See, now that would be a good podcast show if you did like a seasoned scripted written out thing where we're just like the two radio hosts, like trying to get out the message that we're here and surviving and tell a story through that. That's an idea for anyone out there. If you want to do it, go for it.
Yep.
We're not going to.
In.
That's too much. We'll just take some royalties.
Yes, please and thank you. But they're all like, yeah. Oh yeah, Maggie's Diner. That was the place for the apple pie.
I miss cereal. I was still like this whole scene. I was actually because like the way they shot what's his face there, Alphonse sitting up front, like the way they were set it up the shot. I was like, I'm waiting for like something to bust through the window and like go right through his head. And like that was gonna be like the thing. Yeah. No, just the radiator pops.
Yeah. Like, oh well, car broke down. Guess we got to fix it.
Alrighty.
So Lucy gets out to fix it, right?
Yeah, she's our mechanic apparently. And yeah, Baka's like, hey, you got to get this done. Sunset's coming soon.
Yeah,
let's go. Literally they have like a time lapse of like the sun like sunsetting, and then it's nighttime, and she's like doing her best to fix the radiator, and they're like, yo, you got to
still working.
Yeah, still working. Like, what are you doing? It's just a hose. What do you just replace it? Let's go.
Yeah.
Then we start hearing some stuff in the woods.
It's a whole thing. Well, it's definitely also at this point revealed that it's Zoe's fault because they're like, we should just turn around, come back in a few days when we can fix the Humvee and like get more, like we'll just do this later. And she's like, no, we can't, but like that little girl's gonna be sick.
Yeah. And
like, we can't risk 8 lives for one. Super reasonable.
And then she drops the old what if it was your kid? It's like, all right, that's a little dick. It's not my kid.
Unfair.
Yeah. That's not my kid. We're making decisions here for the entire, safety of the crew.
What if we lose 8 soldiers from however many are left from like people who know how to use guns? Like we need those.
Good luck when those zombies do break through.
Yeah.
So
but they do. Zombies show up right now.
Yes, they start swarming. They all pile back in their Humvees. Lucy's ready to go. Let's go. Baka's doing the old like can't start the truck move. Oh no, it won't start. And then zombies are hitting the trucks all over it, and then it starts and they take off. And they escape. And then we get like we hit the city streets, and like I love how we get every once in a while these like radio exposition updates of like what's going on. Like, oh man, thank God we got out of that situation. It looks like we're okay. Oh, looks like we've arrived. No casualties. Looks like we've arrived. Like, just show up. Just show.
So frustrating.
Like, you don't have to tell us. Like, we'll figure this all out by you just pulling up and.
Yeah. I do appreciate that they limited the set budget by making it only like outside the hospital and inside the bunker.
Oh yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this is the same street that we've already seen 8 times between her walking down the street and
in the breaking news in the very beginning. Like this is very much like a lot in Hollywood, like the back lot of Paramount or something they grabbed for like an hour.
Yeah, like it accidentally, it's like the Ghostbusters car just kind of drives by in the background. What's the Ecto-1 doing here?
All right, so then we're in the medical center, and it's just them sneaking around, trying to like move around. They get the lights, trying to build some tension that there's something in here. And then they get to the pharmacy, and like, boom, here we are. She's got the little padlock. He's like, boop, 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 boop. They come in the pharmacy, and like,
these are vaccines. Those are antibiotics.
Let's go.
There's probably other stuff here.
Probably. So they just fill up their bags. They're ready to go, right? And they move out, and they start going down the hallways again. And then Zoe comes across epidemiology center room there, right?
It's like her old lab, right?
Her old lab, yeah. And she's like, hey, you know what? It's a great idea. Let me just separate from the crew, and I'll go in here. And they still have to wait. They're still going to wait for you. So why don't you tell them, like, what's going on? Like, hey, I want to go in here because...
Well, I mean, but they would say no side missions. And,
this is a side mission, and like no side mission because, like, guess what happens? So she goes in there and she's like looking around. She grabs some photos of her family and stuff like that, and she grabs nothing. She grabs there's 2 things she gets in here. One, the family photos, and then she grabs ammonia, which they zoom in on. And that comes back later. This is so stupid. But meanwhile, we got zombie vision from the closet. A little voyeuristic. What are you doing in there, buddy?
So stupid. She's like knocking shit over, left it like making a ton of noise. You're like, obviously you're going to attract everyone that's in here.
So it's obviously Max hanging on the closet. He hasn't left since that day, just hanging out in the medical center.
Yeah, for 5 years.
For 5 years, just hanging out.
Yeah. It's so ridiculous. I hate this movie so much. The timeline makes no sense. And so she sees him and takes a couple of shots, like too many.
He busts out. He busts out and like goes after her, right? Yeah.
Well, kind of. He like doesn't he is just kind of like rawr.
Yeah. He reveals himself. He pops up the door. He's like, hey, yeah.
Yeah, like he's not really being a threat yet, outside of being like rawr, and I almost raped you that one time. But instead, she shoots like 10 shots with her gun and misses all of them. Like, which obviously attracts a ton of zombies, because the first rule of zombie hunting is don't use a gun if you can help it.
Right. Because that attracts attention. So, so she falls back in the hallway, and other zombies alerted. They're all making a noise. Some shots from the trailer. And then he comes out and he grabs her like headband or something and starts smelling it.
Like, he's just being a creep, a zombie creep.
Oh, yeah, headband. He's like, I recognize that smell. Yeah. And zombies go running. And then there's they're like, hey, where's Zoe? And then they all end up meeting at the front door. And there's zombies.
Then they find each other immediately.
Yeah, immediately. And then Frank, who is saying goodbye to his wife before we left for this mission, he gets toasted, and they're all like, Frank, and he's like, no, go on without me, and he just starts smoking as many zombies as he can before he gets torn apart.
He just like stabs them, like as they're eating him. Yeah. You're like, I don't think this is helping.
No, and just save the bullet for yourself. Call it a day.
Yeah. It's been 5 years. Like, you've learned that this isn't going to work.
Yeah, you have to detach the head entirely or put a bullet through it. Yeah. Come on, man.
So we go back to the Humvees, and Lucy's like, "Where's Frank?" And like, gone. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
and they drive away.
Okay, and they escape. And then we get a Humvee driving landscape transition shot back into, I think, the next day, right?
Yep. Apparently, like the next morning, you're like, yeah. What happened? Like, how far is this hospital? Like, what is this movie?
So we're back at the vehicles, right? And we're back at the bunker, and the crew shows up, and Miguel's like, "You're late, mofos. What's going on here?" You know? Yeah. And then they do a quick cut to Max is like hiding like underneath one of the Humvees, like he hung on to it.
So funny. Like, it's like a cartoon, a cartoon. It's exactly like a cartoon. It's so funny.
It's a cartoon. And then, so then he's underneath there and he rolls out. And meanwhile, Frank's wife comes out and she's like, "Where's Frank?" And Miguel is like, "All right, Zoe, why don't you tell her where Frank is?" And I was like, he's like, "This is on you." And because it was your idea. And leadership, if you're a leader, you're also the one who approved this mission. So actually it's on you, buddy, because if you want to shut it down, you could have. So this is on you. Better leadership. Yep. So she's like, "Frank didn't make it." And Frank's wife is like, "Oh no."
Yeah. She's like, "It's all your fault, Zoe. It's all your fault.
His blood is on your hands." I was like, "Oh, geez. Actually, it's on Miguel's." Do you know who the leader is here? Yeah, I thought it was Miguel.
She like turned British all of a sudden.
Yeah. "This plot is on your hands." And then meanwhile, we got Max being a creeper in the woods again, as always. And he's like
watching the kids.
Watching kids play soccer. Like, all right, dude, come on, man. And one ball goes lost, and you're like, this kid's dead. All right. And the kid goes looking for it immediately, but he's not. He goes looking for it, and then like the thing goes off, and like, "Hey, everyone, all the residents, come back inside."
They do like a little misdirect, and the soldier grabs him like, "Hey, didn't you hear the buzzer to go back inside?" And he's like, "I'm looking for my ball."
Oh yeah, more bad acting and weird audio too. Again, it's like, what is this? What is happening right now?
And he's like, "Don't worry, kid. You go inside. I'll find your ball.
I'll find your ball. Just leave the ball outside till the next day. Who cares?"
Yeah. And then he gets immediately
smoked by Max.
Which I was like, this should have kicked things off way earlier, because that guy's going to turn into a zombie and start attacking the building. Like, he's already in the perimeter fence. Like,
that's right. We would have had two, and the people that I think Max eats, like, they just become regular zombies because he's the one with like the blood, the whatever blood cells, right? Yep.
That's right. Doesn't make any sense.
No, you're right. He's already inside there. So a lot of plot holes here. A lot of plot holes. Let's think these things through.
And then we got to inside the Humvee depot here, and we just see like the doors shut, and like somehow like Max is like sneaks into a little corner, and he's like, "Ah, I did it."
he's like a little troll character. He's like, he's like bouncing around like comically.
Yes, the way his movements are so funny. like not at all like a zombie you would expect.
No, it's like a zombie on Broadway or something. He's like, "I'm in."
He's doing like Mission Impossible rolls around like to try and be stealthy. Just like, "Oh yeah, all right."
Yeah, Mission Impossible, but everyone's zombies. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah. Somehow no one notices.
This guy like kind of hop skipping and jumping around like a cartoon character, and he hides behind like a little gator, like the little carts there, and he's just hiding. And like another army guy goes over to like grab some stuff, and you're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna eat." And he doesn't. He like walks back, and all of a sudden there's like Max pops out, and he leaps up on top of a little thing and climbs inside a vent like a little squirrel, like a little rat.
It's one of the funniest things I've ever seen.
It's the hop and jumping and climbing to the vent that just had me. I was like, okay, this is
I was like, "Oh, are we going to do an alien thing now?"
Oh my god! So that hop, skip, jumping event, we're going to do the same thing. We're hop, skip, jumping into event because that's the end of part 1, and part 2 we're gonna go vent hunting, I guess, right?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know.
Good segue.
We're going to crawl around vents like a zombie. So yeah, Max is in there. That's where we're leaving that. Is he going to get what he thinks is his?
Let's hope not.
Let's hope not. He gets what he deserves, though. Yeah. Okay. I don't think there's any other questions, so we're going to leave it at that. So thanks for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with part 2. Meantime, follow us on Instagram. It's This Meets That. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and set us to auto-download. And if you like the show, tell a friend, even if they're a zombie.
Yeah, especially if they're a zombie. Right? Like, they probably just, I don't know, zombies don't sleep, I don't think. So, like, they could just listen to us on repeat.
All day long.
A lot of good listens. We need the stats.
We need those zombies to auto-download is what we need. So
yeah. Or you could leave it for some internet zombie on a review board. Like, hey, love this show. Jared and Russ, totally not zombies. Soon to be directors, obviously. Potentially.
I mean, we gotta bump up our resume here.
I think so. 5 stars, and then call it a day. Easy enough. I just wrote it for you.
Done.
Or if you want to write your own thing and send us like a long email, you can do that. Or a short email, but I prefer long emails if you can.
Yeah, we need some of that in our life.
Just pad it out, yeah. And we'll listen to them in the trailer trash, like we always do. I'll read it, you listen. This is the relationship that we have.
Yeah, this is what we have here. Yeah.
It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Or go to the website, because you can find 290 episodes of It's This Meets That. You can find links to our merch. Go to TeePublic, right? Get a T-shirt, maybe a mug, a mouse pad, something crazy. Yeah, the metal logo that Russ and I were talking about in Trailer Trash, that'll be uploaded by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, absolutely. In minutes.
Yeah, you want like a heavy metal It's This Meets That shirt? We can help you out.
It's pretty dope,
right? All of that you can find and more. Info about Russ's book Host, perhaps wherever you buy books, buy that.
Yeah, do it.
But it's thismeetsthat.com. That's where the magic happens. Check it out.